Hello, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I said that I would come back and start making more regular videos, and it just feels like all year when I keep trying to re-enter this space, it's like it's still not done shifting. I actually feel like it's like Harry Potter and there's a polyjuice potion that has been like marinating for months. And for some reason, I'm going into every other configuration before actually choosing the one that lands. And as we close out the end of 2025, I really feel like I've landed on what it feels are going to be my main focuses, which is very difficult for me to admit that I'll even have a focus, let alone some main focuses in the coming years. And one of those things is helping people with spirit-led businesses in an accessible way. There are other things that I do that are rising up in quality, in price, in because of how much I really care to put into them. I am so excited to be sharing more of those. And at the same time, I was like, but what about the people who aren't maybe ready for that financially, energetically, emotionally, time wise? To come and do a one-to-one retreat with me is going to be a very deep and intensive and involved experience. But what about the people who are like just trying to do their spiritual work out in the world? I really believe in that cause too. And I love talking business and I love entrepreneurship. I'm a huge advocate for us doing our own thing as a beautiful way for us to grow together in the way that we'd like Earth to progress, which is a little less consumer focused or corporate, but really more connected and more community sharing and focused as well. So I love that. I've been a virtual assistant for years. I don't do that anymore. Now I just use this strategic mind and mentorship mind that I have helped business owners for many years with. And I help people who have spirit-led businesses, which doesn't even need to mean that you're doing spiritual work as well. Like it could be that you are working on a product or an art form or some interesting other thing, other service, but you feel very spiritually connected to your business. And so if you are looking for a space that acknowledges or honors the fact that that's a part of what we are doing here, kind of no matter what, I think every entrepreneur goes through a spiritual journey of some kind, even if they don't call it that. But a spirit-led business mentorship group is what I have created. I've just created it with a small number of people to start, just to prove the concept to myself, to each other, to say, hey, is this going to work? Is this feeling right and aligned? And I love, love, love showing up multiple times a week to this group. I love showing up twice a week right now, and then check-ins through our WhatsApp group. But as more people join this, I'm happy to open up another time. So you could drop in 3 times a week, perhaps at some point. That would be amazing. I would love that. So I've decided to offer it at a really reasonable rate. And that's because to me, when we're sharing in it, we're all getting a lot out of it as well. I get a lot out of helping and supporting, but I also just recognize that as you're building a business is not necessarily the time you're going to have a lot of resources available. And it is sliding scale. So you can choose to pay 111 to 222. Once you cross that 222 threshold, you'll also get a 30-minute session with me once per month, just to solo focus on your business and your work. And then if you go up to the 333, which this is going to go up in like mid-January, these prices. So just so that you know, these prices are only for the next like 4 or 5 people who sign in. We'll say 5. So the next 5 people access this 111, 222, or 333 pricing. If you're up to 333 per month, then you get access to all of the calls that we do, plus an hour session with me. So it is a really valuable program, and you can access it at whatever level feels right for you. If you're really wanting to, move forward, 1 hour with me is going to be really intense. You're going to have a lot to take away from that. We can even split it up into 2 30 minutes if you need. Some of my clients would suggest that you do that, actually, to be honest. And yeah, and I think I just wanted to say that the reason that I've chosen this on top of some much larger scale retreat experiences at OracleFest, which is a very quickly growing vision. It has a lot of momentum behind it and it's demanding a lot, I think, out of me and for us for the rest of next year. the reason that I really felt good about sticking to spirit-led business is because I know that as we grow together, there is no shortage right now of the need for spiritual help, for businesses that feel aligned, for businesses that feel authentic, for personal brands that reflect the actual people behind them. And so getting to know more of who we are on a spiritual, energetic level, while also building our business systems, our tech, answering any questions about how you're going to be able to do things, and keeping you accountable, which is so major, really keeping yourself accountable to something that requires a lot of bravery to be able to move forward with. This is all super, super helpful when you're an entrepreneur, and there's no sense in doing it alone when there's lots of people who want to be there and support you. And I think that a lot of sensitive people tend to believe that having a spirit-led business is a lot more like vague, or it's a lot more ungrounded, and it's just like very like go with the flow. And I've found in reality, the flow happens when we have a structure and a system in place. And we're all going to have different ones because we have really different needs for our lives, for our businesses, for our ideas. Like the ideas and the vision has to come through the engine of you. And so we have to, mold that engine and take different parts on and off of it that are going to make sense for that vision and for you as it gets translated out into the world, which is actually really systemized. And that's actually really structured. It's a lot more clear than it may seem when you just see people doing spirit-led businesses online. You might see it as like, wow, they're just so like, oh, they just go. And that's kind of part of that's who they are. But there is a system behind it that's helping it feel a lot more trustworthy. And we can go through all of that as well. We also go through like confidence blocks, which is helping a lot of people avoid that self-sabotage, procrastination that comes up when you are pursuing something, especially something really different. So I love that. And it's one of my favorite things, is to help us all feel more confident and more certain about what we are putting out in the world, or to at least choose and then let the faith come after, which often also happens. I also think that it can be really frustrating when people are starting out in wanting to pursue a spirit-led business, and there's these misconceptions about like intuition and about money. So people will feel like alignment only happens at like a particular moment, when really it's actually like a buildup of a whole bunch of different decisions and a general waving of, are we in general alignment rather than an absolute like straight path. And so when we are misaligned, often people will start avoiding things, because if you're already misaligned, well, you're not in alignment, so you're not going to take the action. And I think that happens a lot. People will like pull back from taking action because it feels like there's something that's misaligned. So we're aiming like for perfection, which is not really realistic. As well, a lot of people are very intuitive, but they don't necessarily practice the containment. And containment is like what it's like to be here in a body, right? We're contained in a physical body. We're in physical form, and we are working with physical things. So that requires us to have some sort of structure, some sort of containment for that sensitive, spiritual, floating element to live and to be able to be protected and safe within. So it's not like, is it like coloring in the lines? I'm trying to think if it's like a coloring book. It makes more sense when you have the lines on the paper versus a whole bunch of colors everywhere, right? You get to see the actual image. But that's not saying that everyone has to color the lines, because I would never say that. But I also think that a lot of people believe that intuition is connected to impulse and just making like illogical decisions. But I really believe in a thing called informed intuition. In order to have informed intuition, you have to have information. And a lot of times spiritual people are doing their business work, and then they aren't seeking proof. They're just thinking about the idea, or they're floating it around in here in the intuitive space, and then acting as if they have to like know everything before they take action, or they're taking impulsive actions all over the place because they're lacking that structure. And it's not actually as intuitive as they are believing it is. Sometimes we might reconcile some inconsistent habits and lack of containment and just say, oh, well, that's a spiritual thing, and I'm always going to, be that way. But so it's something about merging these two, these misconceptions about like what intuition means, and also decision making and money and how we work with that. And really, not abandoning your own dreams, your missions, and your visions. So much of what this is me reminding you that it's absolutely a beautiful thing and important to follow the visions and missions and dreams on your heart. And that is how we actually can choose when to say no to things, is because we start realizing what is actually our intuition saying and what is our true aligned path. We can start to notice, especially when you have a business, that when you are under pressure and it's not a useful pressure for any reason, a lot of pressure isn't. When you're feeling that kind of pressure and then you sidestep or self-abandon, it's telling you where on your spiritual healing journey you also have room to grow, which is coming into the physical, being here in the present, feeling calm and engaged with and excited by what it is you are doing in this lifetime. Because we only have one lifetime at a time in these bodies to do what we crave to do, what we desire to do, and also what we're meant to do. What we truly in our hearts feel we are meant to do. And so this is really important work to me. It's also very important that I keep it accessible so that more people can join it. And so I have 5 spots open from now until end of January with this pricing. And once those first 5 spots or first 5 new spots open up, then, and once they get filled up rather, then I will raise the price to 222, 333, and 444. So just by up 100. Yeah. So anyways, I really just wanted to tell you all that this is something I'm choosing to do as the year goes on. I wasn't sure yet, but we just ran this for the last 3 months, and I'm really enjoying watching each of the members grow and to see what they can get up to. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm very inspired. I really enjoy meeting with a group and seeing progress and holding people accountable. I really enjoy it. I light a fire under you, and just to speak positive self-belief into your mind whenever possible, because I really believe that we also need more healing folk in the world. I feel like we need more spirit-led businesses existing in the world. I feel like we need more authentic voices out there. And not everyone in our group is a beginner, but some of them are. So there's like a good gamut of people, and all of them really want to pursue their spiritual work or their spirit-led business full-time. And I really believe in that as well. I think that there's a way, I see that the spiritual industry is growing and growing and growing. There's no reason why we shouldn't all be able to take part in it in the ways that we are feeling called to. And so I'm happy to support anyone who is really excited to build a real offer and have their work out in the world, and who want it to feel sustainable and possible and authentic to them, and people who want help with making decisions and who are ready to start making decisions, and people who are excited to listen to the spiritual side of what is going on as well as the emotional side. We won't do crazy digging into things, but certainly there's like a path that we walk. And every now and then we'll weave in different spiritual elements to help support your entire support team, the tech and also the physical and also the spiritual and energetic. So if you're curious about how this works, how it looks, I would love to chat to you, and you can feel free to book a little call below, and we'll chat and see whether you're a good fit. And sometimes people just switch over to mentorship, to one-to-one mentorship with me, if that's more where you're at in the season of your life. But if the Spirit-Led Business Mentorship Group is interesting to you, I think it's an incredible deal, because it's like 8 sessions a month for $100, which is wild, or more if you're willing to get a little bit more time investment and you actually want to sit and have one-to-one sessions with me specifically to like hot seat coach mastermind out what is going on in your business. You can get those at any time. So I think that's everything that I wanted to share in this video, but I'll be back soon. It's nice to be back, and I'm currently in Madeira, so I'm going to take a habit of filming at night because it's a more consistent lighting situation. During the day, it's sunny, and then there's also like clouds and things, and it goes really extreme in this room because of the windows. So I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll make some more videos and see you all then.